We are dividing two polynomials using a process called synthetic division. And this process is a little bit different from long division in that we're interested in the coefficients of the polynomial. We're going to use the coefficients. Also, the first step is a little bit different. We take our divisor, x plus 7, set that equal to 0, and solve it. So I subtract 7 from both sides. That means x is going to equal a negative 7. Now I'm going to use that negative 7 to do my synthetic division. I'm going to put it in a little box here to the side, and then I'm interested in pulling out the coefficients of the polynomial. One other note that I need to throw in here is that I have to pay attention that the polynomial, first of all, is in standard form. And standard form means it's from the biggest exponent down to the smallest exponent in order. I also have to notice if there are any missing exponents in between. And in this case, there's not. I go from a square to a single x to a constant. That's important. If I had a missing term in between, I would have to account for it with a placeholder of a 0. But in this case, I do not. So I start out with this coefficient, negative 6. Then I have a positive 5. And then my constant term is a negative 10. So I draw myself a line underneath. The first step is I drop the first term, negative 6, down under the line. And then I multiply this number I have in the box times the number I drop. So negative 7 times the negative 6 is a positive 42. And I put it, it goes up here underneath the next term. Then I add those two terms together. That's going to give me 49. And then I got to multiply this negative 7 in the box again times the 49. And it's going to go up here underneath the negative 10. Well, let's see. 49 times the negative 7. 7 times 9 is 63. I carry the 6. 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 6 is 34. And notice it's a negative, so it's a negative 343. So that goes underneath the 10. Notice the negative 10 and the negative 343, they have the same sign, so I add those together. So my remainder is going to be a negative 353. And again, this is the remainder. And a lot of the time, the reason why I'm doing synthetic division is to determine if this binomial is a factor of this polynomial. In this case, because I have the remainder of negative 353, it is not a factor. If the remainder were 0, then that would tell me that is a factor. But in this case, it is not. Then one last thing I need to do, I need to write my resulting polynomial. Notice my initial polynomial was a square, so I have to drop down a degree using these numbers or these coefficients and constants. So this is going to be a negative 6x plus 49. And then I have to include my remainder, minus 353, divided by what I was dividing by, my x plus 7, or my divisor. And that is my resulting polynomial after I do synthetic division.